This video is brought to you by Ridge Wallet, a slim front pocket wallet available in carbon fiber and titanium. With more than 250,000 sold, a lifetime guarantee and free shipping, get 10% off with the code GOLDFISH at ridgewallet.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you know, Thursday means it's Fishbowl Thursday here in Instant Deck Tech land, and this week we have one of the memeiest meme decks in the history of the modern format, right up there with something like Zombie Hunt, maybe the Swans deck, hit our Swans, draw some cards. This is one of the ultimate meme decks, and it was sent in by Death, although this isn't an original Death build. This is a deck that I've seen floating around in the dark recesses of the multiverse for quite a while, and this is Shadowborn Shelldock combo. So the idea of this deck is really interesting. It is one of the more unique ways of trying to go about winning a game, and when everything comes together, you can essentially win the game as early as turn 2. Of course, we gotta play a lot of janky cards to do it, but I'm gonna have fun talking about this one. Hopefully it's fun to watch. So again, thank you to Death for sending it in, and a quick reminder, if you'd like your own deck considered for a future Fishbowl Thursday, leave that link in the comments, or you can email me, saffronolive@mtggoldfish.com. Anyway, let's talk Shadowborn Shelldock combo. So this deck is built around Shadowborn Apostle. Shadowborn Apostle is kind of like Relentless Rats. It is one of the few cards in Magic that has an ability that lets you play any number of them in your deck. It does have another ability. You can pay a black, sack 6 Shadowborn Apostles, tutor out a demon to the battlefield. That's not really what our deck's doing. So in our deck, Shadowborn Apostle is in our deck because we need a whole bunch of the same creature in our deck, and Shadowborn Apostle is the best of the bunch because it's just 1 mana. We're not planning on attacking with them. It's actually this ultra janky combo piece. So for this deck to work, what we need to do is, if we have the option, we choose to draw rather than play, because step 1 of our combo is on turn 1, we draw a card, we pass the turn, we discard a Shadowborn Apostle to hand size. That is really key. Never choose to play first with the deck. If you are forced to play first because your opponent wins the die roll, then you got to slow down a little bit. You got to draw a pass, then discard to hand size. But that's step 1. Don't play your land drop, discard Shadowborn Apostle to hand size, because on the next turn, what we want to do is surgically extract or extirpate, which is like backup surgical extraction, our Shadowborn Apostle from the graveyard. So why would we want to exile 35 copies of Shadowborn Apostle from our deck? Well, that's because if we can exile 35 Shadowborn Apostles, plus we drew 7 cards to start the game, that's going to get our deck really, really small. In fact, it's going to be small enough to turn on Shelldock Isle. So Shelldock Isle, one of the hideaway land cycle, where when it comes into play, you get to look at your top 4 cards, exile one of those cards, and then you can cast that card if a condition is met. For Shelldock Isle, that condition is a player has to have 20 or fewer cards in their library. So by exiling all those Shadowborn Apostles, we're going to make sure that we're under 20 cards in our library. So then on turn, it would be number 2, I guess, because we got to skip that turn number 1. So on turn 2, we're going to play Shelldock Isle, and then we're going to hopefully hit one of our 4 Emrakul the Eon's Torn. And you're probably thinking, well, wait, 4 Emrakul, Shelldock Isle only sees 4 cards, you're probably going to whiff. But remember, our deck is going to be under 20 cards at this point. So our deck's going to be like 20, 25% Emrakuls. So our odds of hitting with Shelldock Isle are actually really, really high. And then we simply, on the next turn, which I guess would be turn 3, use Shelldock Isle to cast the Emrakul, get the extra turn because we're actually casting it, start annihilating away whatever is on our opponent's board, and hopefully just win the game with the Emrakul. And that is literally all this deck does. Discard Shadowborn Apostle, exile Shadowborn Apostle, Shelldock Isle, Emrakul, hope everything works. If our opponent doesn't have Ghost Quarter or Blood Moon or whatever, if they do have one of those cards, then we're very, very sad and everything falls apart. But that is the deck. The only other card in the main deck is Serum Powder, which is kind of doing double duty. So this gives us basically a free mulligan if it's in our opening hand. We can exile our opening hand, draw a new starting 7. So this gives us another way of reducing the size of our library to get down under 20 cards. Plus, for this deck to work, we really need the right combination of cards in our opening hand. We really want a Shadowborn Apostle. We got to have one of those. Really want one of our surgical extraction effects. And we'll hopefully have a Shelldock Isle as well. So we're trying to assemble this like 3-card opening hand combo, so being able to re-roll our opening hand in an effort to get that nut draw start is really, really helpful for the deck. As far as the mana base, we talked about the Shelldock Isle, one of our key combo pieces. There's only 10 lands in the deck, 4 polluted deltas, and 2 copies of Watery Grave. So that's the main deck. The sideboard is a little bit strange. So we have a bunch of lands because after sideboarding, we might want to play a more fair game, although still very janky. So we can bring in 3 Thrumming Stones, which is another way that we can win the game with our Shadowborn Apostles. If we have a Thrumming Stone on the battlefield, we can cast 1 Shadowborn Apostle, and we're likely going to ripple through our entire deck and end up with every single Shadowborn Apostle on the battlefield. So yes, our opponent could have a Pyroclasm or a Sweeper or something, but if they don't, we're going to have 35 1/1s on the battlefield, which should be able to get the job done. If our opponent does have an answer, we can Immortal Servitude to get back all of our Shadowborn Apostles. We can also go on the Demon Plan. Remember that backup ability on Shadowborn Apostle. We don't use it in the main deck, but after sideboarding, we can bring in Runescar Demon, we can bring in Grizzlebrand and tutor up a big demon, or we can just cast a massive demon of Deathgate. 9 mana, 9/9, flying trample. The thing is, there's an alternate casting cost on Demon of Deathgate where you can sacrifice 3 black creatures rather than pay its mana cost. Also gotta pay 6 life, but whatever. So in theory, if we're not going to win with the combo, we can just play a Shadowborn Apostle on turn 1, turn 2, Shadowborn Apostle, and then immediately play a massive 9/9 flying trampler, and hopefully just use it to close out the game. Otherwise, one last extra pay, and that is the absurdity of Shadowborn Shelldock combo in Modern. Don't get your hopes up that you're going to win super consistently with the deck, but good lord, when it all comes together and you're smashing with a turn 3 Emrakul after exiling most of your own deck by getting rid of Shadowborn with Surgical Extraction, it's going to be amazing. So again, thank you to Death for sending it in. And again, if you'd like your own deck considered for a future Fishbowl Thursday, leave that link in the comments, or you can email me, saffronelephant@mtggoldfish.com. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.